All right, welcome back, everybody, for a new episode of Hidden Gems. This is the video series where I talk about those books that are still probably tucked away in those boxes at your LCS. These aren't the hot books. These are more undervalued, underappreciated, and just some really weird stuff that I find interesting and just kind of want to share with you and the rest of the community out there. Hopefully, you're still enjoying this series as well as everything else on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. Check out our memberships, as I'm doing members-only videos now, dropping a couple of times a week. We also got shorts hitting every day about noon. And yeah, still just having a lot of fun going through all this stuff. So I still haven't decided what I want to do with the artist retrospective and that should be a cover. So we're going to be without them one more week until I figure out whether to continue as part of this show or spin it off into his own thing. But don't worry, I still got plenty of other things to talk to you about for this week's Hidden Gems. So if you want to see what I got for you, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. All right, so kicking us off this week, since we're not doing the artist retrospective or the That Should Be a Cover, we are going to start in with something we haven't hit up in a little while, and that's later prints. You guys know I like picking up those later printings for cheap. I like the second, thirds. Whenever it's like new cover art, something unique or different, I don't know. I like looking for them and going out and finding them. I just find it a fun little exercise. And that said, this week I got a couple oddball ones for you to go and take a look for. Starting off with Scar, Son of Hulk. Now, I know he didn't have the most, he didn't have the best introduction there at the end of She-Hulk. It was a little lackluster, that big reveal at the end, but still, that means he's in the MCU, and it does mean we will see him again. Whether you like the look of him right there or not, we're going to see more of him, and maybe they tweak it, maybe they make it better, maybe they improve it. Maybe we get an ugly Sonic situation where they just decide, you know what, scrap it, we'll redo it, we'll give him a whole new look. By the time he hits the screen again, some time will have passed. You can talk over it and explain why he looked goofy, but now looks cool. At least that's the hope. That all said, that Scar Son of Hulk series does have a second print. Actually, it has two versions of that second print, and then there's a third, but we'll get to that in a second. This is the second print that I want to show you. Again, different cover art than the original issue. You can see it right there in the Marvel box up at the top. It says second printing. You can also check the barcode down below for the, those sort of details where you see that it's a variant. But this book, does okay. It's not going to make you rich, but if you do find one of these for cheap, you can see, yeah, granted, copies recently have only sold for $5 or $10, but asking prices are a little bit more in the $10 to $15 range. So again, you're not going to get rich off of this, but it's still a fun little, nugget to go and dig out of a box if you can go and find it. And this is only one of the second print covers for this first issue. The second one actually does a bit better, and it's referred to as the movie variant, I think, mostly because in the shadows there, it's kind of hard to see like on the screen here, but in the shadows there, that is the Eric Bana. Oh, actually, no, that's not the Eric Bana. That's the Hulk from Ed Norton. That's what I meant. Ed Norton Hulk, you can see there in the shadows behind there. So that's kind of the the backdrop. So they call that the movie variant. But it's still just another second printing for this book and this series and this issue. And this one does a little bit better. Granted, recent copies sold are still only $5 to $15. But the asking prices, like I said, are a little bit more. $18, $25, $40 in a lot of cases. You might find the oddball, cheaper one here and there. You might even find the extreme expensive one out there as well. But by and large, that 20 to 30 kind of range is where most of them sit right now as far as asking prices go. So this would be the one you want to hope to find if you're going dig in the box for cheap, probably over the other one. But still, look for both. If they're cheap enough, you can consider it. And that's why I'm showing you this information, so you can make the decision for yourself. I'm not telling you to go and buy any of this stuff. I'm just giving you some market information and some interesting, weird little books. So if you find it in a box out there, one, you know what it is. Two, you know how much it's selling for. And three, you know how much other people are asking for. So you can make an informed decision whether you want to pay the price of whatever your shop is asking for that book. Because again, not all things are not created equal. One shop could have this in a $1 box, while another one could have it on the wall for $40. It all depends on what you have near you and the shop owners and all that. It's kind of a crapshoot. So that's why I'm just giving you information. You do with it what you will. That said, let's move on to the third print. That's right. They even decided after doing 2 second prints, they decided, you know what? We haven't had enough. Let's do one more, and let's do a third print, and that is this black and white sketch, I believe, of the first cover. So these I'm not a fan of when they just do like sketches, black and whites, recolor the trade dress, things like that. It seems like lazy booking, but it is the third print. So if you're interested, here it is. It's the sketch for this cover, and you still get Scar there front and center. This one, if you go and check online how much it sells for, it does all right. It's in that $13 to $15 range. It's very consistent in that range. And then the asking prices are kind of like that second print in the $15 to $30 kind of market area. So that's what you're looking for if you can find the white colored backgrounds, because both of them, share that in common. So if you see that in the Scar books, look for that. Maybe it'll tip you off. That's what you're finding when you're flipping through that box, and maybe you find yourself a couple of bucks. But that all said, let's move on to our next book and our last one for this segment, and that is this, Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers. I know, oddball series, oddball book, and it's got Thanos on the cover. Pretty cool Thanos, by the way. I kind of dig this. It looks like one of those Marvel cards or something from like Marvel Snap, which is become very addictive. I've been playing a lot of Marvel Snap since I downloaded it and finally started playing it the other day. I don't know. It's addictive. That said, this Thanos image reminds me of something that would be like one of those Marvel Snap cards. But it's still a cool little book and a fun little thing. And then you got all the Pet Avengers there down on the sidebar. So it also kind of has like a speak and spell kind of vibe. It looks almost like a kid's book in that way too. But that all said, this is second print for that number one. Not the easiest thing to find, but they're out there. Copy recently sold only for $12.50, but with 7 bids, so there was some action on it, but it still only got itself over $10. So I mean, with shipping, then you're looking at closer to 18. But yeah, not too much, but still something that's worth keeping an eye out for. Especially when you look at, well, the market asking prices are in that, again, $15, $22, $35 range. So 15 to 30 bucks is kind of what people are asking for this book as well. So if you find one, that's where you're kind of looking to sit, though you can see what it actually is selling for. So, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen if you find one and you list yours out there and you join the crowds of people trying to, get this book out there. Okay, that's enough for our later prints for this week. We're going to pivot on over to something a little bit different. Let's go on over to some of my nostalgia picks. I believe I've talked about this series once before. I think I talked about it on Dollar Bin Digging, maybe even the pickups, my cheap comic book finds. I don't know. I know I've talked about them before. Don't remember how long ago it was, but it wasn't on this series. So we're going to talk a little bit about Space Ace. Now, I think we've also mentioned you keep an eye out for the Dragon's Lair, the other Don Bluth series. Ryan Reynolds I think is still supposed to be doing something with that. But Space Ace is just kind of fun. It's kind of fun, silly. There's a game out there, arcade game from way back in the day. They even had some console game releases all the way up through the Super Nintendo system. And this comic series actually dropped twice. So we're going to start off here with the first run. This was from CrossGen. CGE up there in the top, top box. You can see this was the first run of the series. It's going to go for 3 issues, and 3 came out of this this imprint, the CrossGen imprint, much like the Masters of the Universes that also went through Graham Cracker as well. This does have a Graham Cracker exclusive variant for number 1. Very hard to find. Keep an eye out for it. Sure. Much like those Masters of the Universe ones, like the Faker cover and the issue 1 and whatnot. Some of those Graham Cracker variants are really tough. And you guys know, I think Graham Cracker is located on the Midwest, like Chicago area. So maybe if you're in the Midwest, you got a better shot of finding them tucked away somewhere. But keep an eye out for those because they're very tough and can be very expensive. But the regular run of the CrossGen series here, again, it ran for 3 issues. These still do all right if you can find them. Some of the prices are going to be inconsistent. It's going to be ups and downs. I mean, you'll see copies selling for as cheap as like $12 for issue 1, $25 for individual issues. But at the same time, $20 for all 3 issues in some cases, or $25 for all 3 issues. So in some cases, a single issue could sell for $25, or all 3 could sell for $25. It's really random. It's kind of a crapshoot of what hits the market and what actually sells. That said, what's on the market right now and the asking prices right now are in that kind of same weird kind of range. There's copies out there for number 1, $30. Or actually, no, that's the whole run for $30. $25 just for issue 2. $35 for 1 through 3. Issue 3, just $8. So prices are still kind of all over the place, but it's still kind of a fun little exercise to go and see if you can track these down and go and grab them. Now, after the CrossGen 3 issues came out, these were reprinted, reissued under Arcana, and those ones also continued the series on for another 3 issues. So here again is the CrossGen cover, and we'll call it a reprint, but it's a different publisher, so it's not technically a reprint, though it's the same issue. I don't know what you want to call it, but I guess it is a second printing, or it's a second version, reissue, whatever you want to call it. Arcana resold this book again under a new cover price and a new publisher, and then moved on with the other 2 issues, and then extended it another 3 issues beyond that. So here you go with the Arcana trade block or whatever, trade dress down below for 1, 2, and 3. Once again, same issues, re-released. Re-released is probably the best way to put it. Re-released with a new publisher, and then they continued it on for 4, 5, and 6 here. So keep an eye out for all of those. Especially the later ones. Like issue 6 is a tough one to find as well. That's it. Here we go. Just to give you a broad strokes examples. These things, again, $15 individually, up to $25 individually, $80 for the whole set. So, again, prices, they are what they are. Asking prices, again, that issue, what is that? That issue's 4. Somebody's asking $50 for one of those. And then in the meantime, issue 2, only $12. And then we got a graded number 1, a 9.0, wants $125. So once again, prices are really all over the place. So just a fun little thing to keep an eye out for cheap. I wouldn't say pay high prices for these things, because you're probably not going to realize any return on your investment if you do. But if you find them for cheap, maybe you get lucky and you just score a couple extra bucks. But still a fun little series also to go and track down. And I don't know if you're into that kind of thing. I do like the Don Bluth style. It brings you back some nostalgia there, so that's why it's in my nostalgia picks. But that all said, we're going to move on to our next segment, movie adaptations. You guys know I'm a big movie fan as well, and I like these adaptations of movies to comic books. Some of these are heavily printed and very, very easy to find, and then others maybe not so much. And some of those can, get you a couple extra bucks at a premium if you find them in the back issue bins, like Blade 2. Now, I enjoyed Blade 2. It had a much different vibe than Blade 1 and a different vibe than Blade 3. Pretty cool. This is the one I think was done by Del Toro, too. So, pretty interesting book. Pretty interesting movie. But Blade 2, the comic that we have here, is also one you want to keep an eye out for. Again, you'll probably find these in like dollar bins and cheap boxes here and there, but it could still get you anywhere from like 10 to 20 bucks. You can see some of the sale prices over the last couple of months. And then the asking prices, again, as cheap as $8, and then up, most of them are kind of up in that like $15 to $20 kind of range. So $18.80, $19.99, and then like I said, there's that $7.99 one down there at the bottom. But that one is listed in fine condition, so it's going to be a little banged up. So you're going to get what you pay for. So you might find it for cheaper online, but you're not going to get a nice, crispy, clean copy either. But who knows what you might find out at a shop by you. So keep an eye out for Blade 2. Also, keep an eye out for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. I know they kind of jumped the shark a little bit after Ninja Rap, and maybe Turtles 2, the Super Shredder, but Turtles 3, when the Turtles go back in time, we do have the movie adaptation here, and we do have a prestige format of that movie adaptation here, and I couldn't find much on the prestige format, but the regular book from Archie, as you can see here, this thing does okay if you can find it, and this is like dollar bin digging kind of thing. You might find this for $1, and you can see you can sell for like $15 plus. A couple copies sold. And then asking prices, $13.50, $19. There's one at auction that was ending today for $50 they're asking for. So I doubt that one sold, but had no bids. Who knows what could have happened with it. But I grabbed it because it was an interesting ask, at least. But you can see most of them are still kind of in that $15 to $20 kind of range for this book. So once again, you're digging in a cheap box at dollar bin, a couple dollars, like $2 or something like that. Could be worth just scooping out if you find it. Plus, it's kind of a fun little thing. If you remember the Turtles, you remember the Turtles in Time movie. Like I said, this was a little after my time, so I saw the first 2. Third movie, I don't remember so much. I don't even know if I saw the whole thing, but it was more than my little brother's kind of deal. I was a little old for it at the time. But that all said, I wasn't too old for this, even though this was not great. The movie adaptation for Street Fighter. Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme. You remember this? And Raul, unfortunately, great Raul Julia's last feature film is M. Bison. But there we go. There it is. It is what it is. They made it. This exists, and you can go back and watch it. But there's also the comic book for it. And the comic book for it, published by DC, by the way, also had polybag versions that have little cards in the back. I think there might be in different cards, but here's just an example. You can see the back of the book here. It is polybagged, with a little special thing. Tells you that there's a card in the back, and then you can go flip in the back, and you can see that there's a card there. Just weird little stuff. I don't know if you remember from the 90s. Weird little stuff that they would insert and put into comics back in the day, which we will get to soon with a little bit more of. But this particular book, it's, you can see best offer on $7, best offer on $10. And again, it's not going to make you rich. It's just kind of a fun little thing for you to go and dig out. But you can also see in some other cases where most of the copies asking are all asking about $15. So whether they're open, sealed, still in the poly bag or not, they're all asking about $15. Despite what's sold recently, that seems to be the asking price. So you're finding a dollar box, finding it a cheap box, could be worth your time. But just for fun, you might just want to go and grab this because it is Street Fighter. And you guys know I've been doing all the gaming gold videos, and I like talking about video games as well. So video games, movies, comics, you're taking three things I love, putting them together. Yeah, it's kind of a crappy book, but I still want to grab it and still want to have one for me because I'm weird like that. Speaking of weird, we're going to get into Oddities now. Oddities is our final segment. I want to thank my buddy Keith for talking to me about this because he owns a shop. He got a collection in. He found these Spidey books, and he's like, it was weird. There's a weird insert in there. Did you know about this? And we started talking about it, and no, I didn't know much about it. So I started digging into it, and I was like, all right, that is kind of cool. Let's throw this out there for the fans and for the public. Here we go. Amazing Spider-Man 413. Toy Wars. Yeah, it looks like a Godzilla, a Sentinel in the back, Stretch Armstrong. Fun little cover. In and of itself, there's fun little, without them being those actual characters, kind of callbacks to other characters. Looks like a Gumby type character down below, an Aliens anagram before Marvel had the publishing rights. Pretty fun little stuff. But more fun is what's inside this book. And what's inside this book is a test packet of Kool-Aid. Yeah, this is what we started talking about. Kool-Aid packs. There were Kool-Aid packs inserted inside of these comics. So God bless you. Don't try to press this thing because then you're going to press a Kool-Aid pack into your book. So that's another reason why finding a high grade of these is going to be tough. That's not pressed. Well, I guess you could press it without it, but not everybody will press it properly. And you'll see that some mistakes could be done. And you're going to press this Kool-Aid pack into the book and you have a weird rectangle on both sides. That all said, Kool-Aid packs. No idea that Kool-Aid packs in and of themselves can sell for money. And here we go. Do you see this? Is the strawberry kiwi island twist Kool-Aid pack. That's what's included in here. That Kool-Aid pack alone, as you can see here, sells $10. And then there's another version of it as well. Like discontinued 90s Kool-Aid packs can sell for like $10. Those things that used to cost like a quarter. Or you can get a box of them for like less than $1, 75 cents. You get a whole box and you can make almost much Kool-Aid as you wanted. $10 a pack. Those little packs of Kool-Aid. So this little insert that's inside of a comic book could get you $10. Asking prices again, still in that kind of $8 to $13 range, just for the Kool-Aid pack alone. Not even including the comic, but the comic could carry that Kool-Aid pack inside. Now the comic, what does that do? With the Kool-Aid pack listed, granted, a couple of sales, $5 to $7. You could make more by selling the Kool-Aid pack inside and keep the comic, or sell the comic separately. I don't know. We're going to go start digging for Kool-Aid packs. I'm going to start a whole new craze here. Everybody go looking for old Kool-Aid. Asking prices on these with the Kool-Aid, you can see 10, 12.74, even $30, and they're listing it's very fine Marvel with Kool-Aid pack included down below. Like, yeah, this is a selling point for the insert Kool-Aid. And it's not just this issue of ASM. It's not just ASM 413 that has these Kool-Aids included. I was digging into it and looking from what I could find. A number of issues had it, including Spider-Man 70, Green Goblin 10. What is that? Spectacular Spider-Man 2. What is it? 256? I can't read the number too well, but Spectacular Spider-Man's got it as well. Then there's Adventures of Spider-Man issue 4 and Adventures of X-Men number 4 also have the Kool-Aid packs inside of it. Those are like the cartoon kind of adaptation things. And then you got Professor Xavier and the X-Men number 9, only 99 cents. These are all only 99-cent books. Books you could probably find in the dollar bins, if not quarter bins or 50-cent bins. These all have those Kool-Aid packs inside of them as well. So go digging for Kool-Aid packs. Granted, some of these sell for a lot cheaper than that ASM book for one reason or another. Look, here, the Spider-Man, actually, that's Spectacular Spider-Man 236, $1.50, $2. And then shipping is actually a little higher from Canada and stuff, like $11 shipping. And then I got Spider-Man 70 in the middle. This is another one that has stuff inside, and you can see here some of the asking prices: $8, $12, up to $20. And again, many of them listed with Kool-Aid pack intact or Kool-Aid pack insert, Kool-Aid pack inside, all of those different things. But yeah, Kool-Aid packs, just kind of fun. So, with that all said, that's all I got for you. So, hopefully, you found that interesting. Hopefully, you found that entertaining. And hopefully, you don't go and try and drink 30-year-old Kool Aid. But you can, I guess. I mean, does it go bad? I don't know. It's what basically sugar. Does sugar go bad? I don't know. I don't know what it'll do to you. But if you do, let me know in the comments what happened to you if you go and drink some of this 30-year-old Kool-Aid, because I'd be interested to hear the results. That's it. Thanks for stopping by and checking this out. Hopefully you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed doing this. I appreciate all the support, and I appreciate you checking this out. Got plenty of stuff still dropping. Chasing Ghosts will drop tomorrow. We got a tax show coming on Wednesday. Dollar Bin. Mail Call Madness will be live again this Friday, so make sure you join the boys live in the chat on Friday for Mail Call Madness. And SNS will be live as well on Saturday, and we'll be live with the Star Wars show on Sunday. And then we'll start the whole thing all over again with daily shorts hitting every day, as well as some members-only content dropping in between. And I like to throw in the random video game and toy video here and there, as well as a little bit extra. But our regular schedule, I'll try to keep it going and keep it maintained as best I can as moving forward. So, again, appreciate you all. And my buddy asked me if I would do it, and I figured since we were covering Kool-Aid today, I'm just going to do this and sign off. But, oh, yeah!